as much as a lot of Star Trek is like perfect for toys, ang dami niyang sablay na toys eh. Kasi like one, they made the Star Trek space helmet.
Hi, welcome to Coffee and Comics. Now I have my good friend Jon Sideno. We're just gonna geek out tonight, guys. We're gonna be talking about Star Trek.
Yes,
and some sci-fi and some other sci-fi stuff.
There was one episode, the original pilot, they integrated it to another sub-story. So basically, it became the menagerie.
Yeah.
It's a backstory with Captain Pike, his relationship with Spock, then how Kirk got involved into this, and apparently there's a secret, there's a classify. They had to they had to unclassify a secret mission, an incident that happened with Enterprise.
Did that come out dun sa the latest one? The
Strange New Worlds? Actually, that was the backstory. So, the story will be, in the ending, in the future, Pike will be critically injured because of radiation. So he'll be confined to a wheelchair, couldn't move. I mean, his body is totally...
Mas matanda si Pike kaysa kay Kirk, di ba? Not by far.
No, not by far. So that at the time, so basically yung sinasabi na I mean, your body is dead but your mind is alive. So parang what's the worst prison for a person? And the planet that discovered, Talos 4, is apparently a planet where your mind can actually roam. So
ang galing. So perfect si Pike dun.
Oo. So basically parang in your mind, your body is alive talaga, you're moving.
Ay action man din si Pike, diba?
Yeah, action man si
so,
Pike.
Kailangan niya ng ganun. So talking about the merchandise naman, I've heard from some YouTube channels. One of my favorite YouTube channels that explained to me about the merchandise was Toy Galaxy. I love that show. Guys, follow that show. It's really good. Now, anyway, sabi niya that sobrang palpak ang timing ng every time they release merchandise. Pumapalpak sila sa timing. They're not selling as much. They always played second or even third or wala pa, malayo pa sa Star Wars. Because nga, their merchandise, kunyari when Wrath of Khan came out, there were no toys when the movie came out. So wala siyang marketing, wala siyang toy distribution. It came out after na ata.
Yeah, it came out after. Kasi
so, bakit ganun?
Kasi before, if you're a Trekkie, if you're a Trekkie or a fan of Star Trek, your top 4 collectibles on the list: a starship, a phaser, a tricorder, which is I didn't bring.
Sayang.
A communicator like this.
The precursor of the flip phone.
Yes.
Was a Star Trek communicator. Di ba? Isipin mo?
Okay, so
and this is not may dalawang klaseng phasers, ha? There's the phaser na may ganun.
Actually, this was actually designed. The next generation phaser made sense. Kasi if you have a phaser like a pistol.
Una ganun parang pistol.
It's like a pistol. So basically, how do you aim? And look, it's energy based. You have no sights.
Wala.
Diba? Compared to this one, basically it's like pointing your finger.
Parang remote control.
That's basically.
And the
chances of you missing.
And the phaser, it's not just a stunner or a murder machine. It can do. Actually, pag in-overload mo ang phaser,
it's basically you have a mini nuclear bomb in your hands.
It's a nuclear reactor in your hand. And in some episode, I remember Next Generation ata yan, they used it in an episode. What was that episode na pinasabog nila to?
No, they had it was on Enterprise. The thing with merchandising with the toys, as much as a lot of Star Trek is like perfect for toys, ang dami niyang sablay na toys eh. Kasi like one, they made the Star Trek space helmet.
Who's gonna wear it?
So it's weird, like Star Trek never.
Who wears a helmet?
Nobody nobody wore a helmet. Yeah. Even yung costume na for spacesuit is a one whole suit. And ito pa ang design ng helmet nila. So it's a helmet with an antenna at nilagay na sticker na Star Trek.
So it's a generic looking alien
helmet.
No, it's a sablay nila.
It's the helmet you give to kids when they start riding skateboards or bike. Yeah. Nilagyan mo ng visor.
Yeah, kunyari.
Tapos may antenna dito. Tapos nilagyan mo ng sticker na Star Trek.
Spaceman.
As in, generic font pa na Star Trek, ha?
Mali nga eh. I think the best merchandise ito, kunyari ito, technically, this is also a communicator, di ba? They can
No, that's it's called
pin?
it's called a pin. It's called the section badge. So basically they tell
Pero they
you.
also communicate with that, di ba?
No, the communicator happens in the next generation. But the original series, kasi most of them based on them, like this one is from Discovery. So this is command.
Okay.
So there are three ones. There's operations, there's command, and there's sciences.
Yeah.
And actually, there's another offshoot, which is medical, which is based on sciences, but may Red Cross siya. So, this is actually a prop pin. This is an actual prop. Here, you can wear
Nice,
it.
look at that.
Yeah, you can
So,
wear
look
it.
at that. And it looks like a prop. There was one episode, sometimes magaganda sobra yung merchandise nila. And there was one merchandise, a phaser, that they actually used, the toy phaser, they actually used for the...
TV, it's a remote control.
Diba? They used it actually for the, for the show. So,
The original phaser of Next Generation is bulky. They're actually dustbusters. Those are the first handheld vacuum cleaners. Yung naging sobrang
Pinutol nila.
Hindi, kasi po siya. Naging sobrang
okay,
obvious.
okay.
So, they designed something like this. And as the show progresses and all of the spin-off shows, it gets more slim, nagkakaroon siya ng forma. So, the latest one was what we call the dolphin-shaped one, which is maganda. The starships naman, back in the day, if you want to ship, no choice ka, you have to buy a model kit. And
I don't know who made that. Migo ata. And yung
Meko.
parang yung gumaganong-ganon. Yung umiikot-ikot lang with a
Meko.
string.
Meko back in the day did the bridge. The bridge of the start and the bridge of the Enterprise, which will fit Barbie dolls. And Barbie released a Star Trek set of dolls. So yun, eksakto kakasya siya doon. So you have Kirk's chair, the helmsman, navigator, and yung pinaka-dice niya, lahat sila kasya doon. It's weird lang kasi most of the characters look like Ken. At si Uhura mukha ni Barbie na
African-American.
African American kasi at that time we called it Black Barbie, but yeah. It's so they have to be PC
Uhura
about
was
this.
hot. I think Uhura was like the hottest one there.
Uhura's the hottest one kasi there's one scene, there's one episode called Mirror Mirror. It's
Written by whom yan kaya?
Mirror. Was this
Ano yan? Season 2?
It's a season 1 episode. DJ Fontana. Okay. DC Fontana. Parang they introduced that there is an alternate universe. Literally mirror universe. But in this mirror universe, the Federation is called the Empire, and they're basically conquering barbarians. So yung mga female crewmen naka midriff, and the only way for a crewman to advance in the ranks is to kill your own captain or your commander.
Okay.
Dahil talang literally murder incorporated sila doon.
Yeah.
And that's and you can see Uhura naka-cut midriff. Wow, back in the 60s,
chiseled
abs. Kasi he was a dancer, pero grabe abs.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And nag-interracial kiss sila ni
Interracial kiss. The interracial kiss kasi it's
Parating naman sila may sexual tension dun ever since
the main man of a series normally siya yung ladies man.
Yeah, of course.
So palagi the babe of the week. It doesn't hindi lang si
Uhura.
Si Kirk. Hindi lang
Pati
si Kirk.
mga ibang aliens naging nila,
Hindi,
diba?
hindi lang si Kirk. Even in the old shows, si McGarrett, sa Hawaii Five-O, si what call this? Even Kojak, si Teddy Savalas, may babe of the week yan.
When did the movie come out again? What was the first movie of Star Trek?
The movie, it's called Star Trek, the motion picture.
The motion picture, yeah.
Kasi there's a lot of things happened between that. So, Star Trek was cancelled in 68. So, they ran for 3 seasons. Then, so there's a big gap between 1968 to 79. So, what happened between that time?
79 was the motion picture, no?
79 was the motion picture. There were fans who did chain they sent letters, kept sending letters, barraging letters, and the studio decided to
sige na nga.
hindi to basically to shut them up without spending much money. They decided to do animated series voiced by the actor or actual
yung
actors.
filmation na
only with 3 changes. Since Walter Koenig was not there for as Chekhov, and George Takei Sulu, they replaced it with a feline helmsman,
Yeah.
Emres, and their new operations officer, what's his name? T-Rax.
Pero the writing of the animation, if I can remember correctly, that was mas tame yun. It was for kids talaga.
Yes.
Ang target nun.
Oh.
Syempre, it's
Pero yung
cartoon.
the stories are very
It's really good.
It's two of them were nominated for the Hugo Awards.
It's really good.
It's really good.
So and Rod Berry produced pa rin yan, di ba? He was still involved with the animation up to that point.
Yeah, he was involved with with
When did he die?
Roddenberry, I think around 88 or 89.
Okay,
So
okay.
he actually saw through the first 3 seasons of The Next Generation.
And he went through the 80s movies also, yung
Went through
Voyage
the 80s
Home
movies.
and
Voyage
Wrath of
Home.
Khan.
Yeah, Wrath of Khan. So yeah, between that gap, so when when Star Trek the next animated series came out, and nagkaroon pa na then they won a Daytime Emmy Award. So they decided like, okay, I mean, there's potential, so let's put on syndication. When they put on syndication, basically, it's all over different states, being shown at different times.
Yeah.
Almost sometimes 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So lumaki ang fan base niya.
Lumaki fan base. Oh.
And after that, it was, I think, if I'm mistaken, around 76 or 77 was the first Trek convention. So all of the actors were there. So they
where was the first Trek?
there was this hotel in San Francisco.
Frisco ang una.
In San Francisco.
And you can say that that's probably one of the first sci-fi conventions.
Yes, more or less ganun. As in, wala pang Tomicon or anything. So one of those convention, and they were surprised with the turnout. I mean, people were in costume. As not just as in Star Trek costume, basically every single alien that came out in Star Trek. They dressed up like there. The crowd and the cast was so impressed, like, oh my God, what is this? What have we done?
May kulto na pala sila.
May kulto na sila. Kaya there was a Saturday Night Live skit with with William Shatner. He's parodying himself. And he goes like, come on, for God's sakes, man, how old are you? Get out of your mom's basement. Get alive. Star Trek is just a TV show.
Ang galing. Okay, your favorite Star Trek episode, let's start with the 60s.
Original series.
Original series.
Okay, Space Seed, which is
What season's that?
First season. That is how we are introduced to Khan Yunan Singh or Khan.
Yeah.
And the other one is actually I don't know why don't people like it. Kasi I'm a fan of westerns. I like Spectre of the Gun.
Anong season yun?
That is season 2.
Ito ba nag-away si Spock at saka si...
That's Amok Time.
Amok Time.
Spectre of the Gun is they encountered an alien race, which is normally the plot of the week, normally the plot every week.
Yeah.
This alien naman will not be don't want to be associated with people or race that has violence.
Okay.
That has violence in their history. And
So,
anything.
si humans ayaw niya, di ba?
Humans ayaw niya. But, Kirk being Kirk, he insisted on beaming down for a face-to-face. So, they have to prove themselves. They have to prove themselves that they are not, they are not really prone to violence.
Right.
And of all the things that they put them into, they turned them into the Clanton gang, which is the gang that went up against Wyatt Earp. So basically, it became
Western talaga.
Western. So Spectre of the Gun is basically the shootout, Tombstone shootout at the OK Corral,
Right.
with Kirk and company and Wyatt Earp and brothers.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yun.
Okay. Next Generation, favorite episode. Maraming magaganda dun.
Next Generation.
That's my Star Trek.
Next Generation is too ang dami eh. Ang dami niya eh. But one of one of them is Sins of the Father.
What's that about again?
It's about Worf, which is the Klingon officer in the Enterprise. His father was accused of being the traitor that one of their colonies was attacked by the Romulans, and they were trying to there was evidence that his father acted dishonorably. Mm-hmm. So that's why
he had to prove
that he has to clear his father's name. Mm-hmm. But in order for him to clear his father's name, he found out that the conspiracy goes up to the High Council.
Ooh.
So, Orc being the honorable one, he decides to take one for the team.
So siya na yung
parang in admission, he admitted whether it's not true or not. He was dishonored by the Klingon Council, and then after that, he was able to clear his name in a two-part episode called Redemption. Most of the time, we see everything from the side of the Federation. So it's either almost everything about the humans.
Yeah.
But we rarely see
the
how the
other
Klingon,
races,
especially the Klingon Empire.
Especially the Klingon, yeah.
Kasi in the 60s, the Klingons are
Kalaban
painted
yan.
na bad guys talaga. But in the next generation, you actually see how the Klingon society works. Why honor is such a big deal for them.
Yeah. Warrior class kasi sila.
The Klingon kasi was based on the samurais.
Yes, right.
Although, sinasabi ni Robin Derry, he had the Vikings in mind.
Right. So talagang ganun sila gera. My favorite Next Generation, if you can remember this episode, is when they went down to a planet na medyo backward, and they were very religious. So what Picard did was to explain to them what religion happened to on Earth. And they were being worshipped because galing nga silang space and going that. So they were being worshipped by by those alien na mukhang humans. Then sabi ni Picard, don't worship us. We're just people like you who are evolved. In-explain niya. And all of that happened. Kala niya okay na. They go back up. Lo and behold, they were still being worshipped by that backward planet. Sabi ko, kaling, it's such a take on real history.
That's why they had the something called the Prime Directive. There was an episode in Voyager naman. So the doctor, the holographic doctor, left a piece of technology in a pre-warp culture. But this culture kasi can adapt really quickly. So when they did the simulation, their advancement at their normal pace, they would reach pre-warp culture after 200 years. Because of the technology, that piece of technology that the doctor left, they ended up advancing in less than 10 years.
Mas mabilis.
So parang they have there's nothing you can do about it but to find that piece of technology, take it back. So hanggang doon na lang sila. Then from whatever happens before that,
bahala
na. They go on their own na. But that piece of tech kasi, it's helping them. Kasi those are a lot of you're talking about more than 500 years of advanced technology.
Yeah. Naalala ko dati sa Voyage Home, they were running, tapos si Bones saw a guy who was parang dying of some blood problem. Sabi ni Bones, what's your problem? I have some blood, I think leukemia. Oh, okay. So gets a pill. Take this.
Ano yan? Sa Voyage Home yun.
Voyage Home na eh. Tapos mamaya gumaling na yung guy.
Hindi, actually it's an old lady going on dialysis. Tapos sabi niya, what is it? Dialysis? What is this? The dark ages? Binigyan niya ng gamot. Nag-regenerate yung kidney niya.
I love Bones. He's the most sarcastic. One of the most sarcastic.
Kasi
I'm a doctor, Jim.
Kasi ang talaga ni McCoy, he's an old country doctor. Basically, yan yung if you live in the barrio, siya yung doktor nyo. Na he's not yung kung kailangan niya gumamit siya ng old household cures, he'll do it. Ganun ang niya.
Favorite movie all time. Just one, John, just one.
Favorite movie all time.
All time. Ang hirap. Wrath of Khan na yun.
Yeah, so obviously
I guess yun na yun.
It's Wrath of Khan.
That's the most iconic
But my favorite movie is The Wrath of Khan. The most popular movie, Star Trek movie actually, was The Voyage Home.
That made money, no?
They made a lot of money.
Plus, that's ang ganda ng mga scenes when especially when Spock talked to the humpback whales. Yun lang yun no? Humpback whales na lang yung solution.
Saka kasi what they did is parang they time traveled back to save the future because an alien race came to communicate, shut down all the power on Earth because he's trying to the probe was trying to communicate with humpback whales, which is already extinct back in the
So they have
in the
to retrace
23rd. They have to retrace. Ang maganda nung kasi, one, production cost nila ang baba kasi they shot on the streets of San Francisco. Literally, the streets of San Francisco.
They didn't need elaborate set pieces.
They don't need elaborate set pieces. And the elaborate set pieces was only, the
bridge.
No, they already have those pieces. Like
And the alien
Vulcan.
mismo. The alien ship.
Starfleet headquarters, Vulcan, which is already, an existing, prop set. What else? Oh, and the rest is, The rest is basically, it's special effects. Hindi pa CGI tawag
That's
doon.
mostly talaga was on Earth. So,
Was on Earth and it was in San Francisco. Eh, nakikita mo yung talagang
then nakakatawa pa doon they saw the Enterprise, di ba? Na
Aircraft carrier.
Aircraft carrier. Then pag addicted na doon, nandun yung mga Americans, and this is the 80s. So nandun si Chekhov, a Russian. Russian is here on the Enterprise.
a Russian on the Enterprise. Actually, that was not the Enterprise kasi the Enterprise was in deployment. So
During that time.
That was the USS Ranger.
Oh, good fun fact. My gosh.
It's very fun. It's really fun.
I love that movie. It's I guess for me that's my favorite, a Voyage Home. Alam mo dyan, I would love to talk more pero mauubusan tayong oras.
Yes.
I think there's so much we can talk about.
There's a lot.
Maybe we can do a part 2 of this next time.
Yeah.
Because mauubusan tayong oras dito, mag-overheat yung camera ko sa about just talking about Star Trek. Maybe we can talk more about other stuff like ang dami pang merchandise, such a big lore.
And the new shows.
The new shows is so good. You made me watch it. Yung Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds.
So good. I enjoyed it.
And then they're coming out with a new series called Starfleet Academy, which is finally it's in development hell since the early 90s. Matagal na.
Sana magawa na. No?
Starfleet Academy. The comic book actually came out na. Tapos wala pa rin.
At least there's a comic book.
And
anyways, guys, we have a lot of Star Trek merchandise here. A lot of them is from John. So if you want to get some or even just check it out, just come by in Coffee and Comics. I have a graphic right here. You can come by, grab your favorite phaser, and drink some coffee.
or just beam down.
Or beam down here. Okay, thanks everybody. Thank you, John, for
Thanks, man.
talking about
Bye, guys.
geeking out with me. Bye, everybody.